tonight, a suburban man accused of murdering his ex-wife faced a judge today. Prosecutors say the crime was captured in chilling home surveillance video. NBC5's Christian Farr has the latest from Oswego.
Ryan Dodd made his first appearance in the Kendall County courtroom this afternoon. Dodd is charged with the first-degree murder of his ex-wife, Ashley Stewart. In a GoFundMe set up for the family she left behind, Stewart is described as a devoted wife and loving mother.
Not only did this person take away the mother of 6 beautiful children, he took away my friend. He took away others' friends. He took away somebody who was genuinely trying to help others and had a bright future ahead of her.
At 6:42 p.m., a phone vibrates on a kitchen counter. A man taps the screen. What loads is a message? It's a live video feed. A woman is running. She's barefoot. She doesn't look back. Someone else enters the frame. The camera catches a garage door closing. Then nothing. Police will later say the attack lasted seconds. But for the man watching from miles away, those seconds never ended. A phone lights up in a dark room. Not a call, not a text, a live video feed. The glow spills across a kitchen counter, cutting through the quiet like a blade. Somewhere miles away, a man taps the screen, expecting nothing more than a routine alert. Motion detected. Garage door opened. Another ordinary moment captured and stored. Instead, the screen fills with chaos. A woman bursts into frame. She's running. Her breath is sharp, ragged, loud enough to feel through the glass. Her shoes slap against concrete as she stumbles into the garage. The door yawning open behind her like a mouth that won't close fast enough. Panic moves faster than thought, faster than fear. The camera shakes slightly as if it, too, is trying to look away. Then, another figure enters the frame. Close. Too close. No faces are clear. No words are heard. Just motion. Just urgency. Just the unmistakable terror of someone who knows that whatever is chasing her cannot be outrun. The man holding the phone freezes. He doesn't shout. He doesn't breathe. He watches. The garage door begins to lower. The metal groans as it slides down, cutting the image in half. For a split second, the camera captures everything at once. Movement, shadow, desperation. Before the feed stutters. Buffers. Freezes. The image locks on a single frame. Silence. Her name is Ashley Stewart. She is 41 years old. She is a mother of 6. And this moment on a phone screen will become the final record of her life. There is no backstory yet. No explanations. No warnings. Only the raw, unbearable immediacy of life in danger and the cruelty of distance, of being able to see everything and do nothing at all. The man stares at the frozen image, willing it to move again. His thumb hovers over the screen, tapping, refreshing, begging technology to give him one more second, one more frame, one sign that what he just saw didn't end the way he fears it did. The phone vibrates again. Still nothing. Somewhere in suburban Illinois, in a quiet neighborhood where porch lights glow and neighbors settle in for the night, a garage stands closed. From the outside, it looks ordinary, peaceful, like every other home on the block. Inside, the cameras keep recording, but they capture no movement, no sound, no life. Minutes later, sirens tear through the stillness. Red and blue lights wash over driveways and windows. Officers rush toward the house, trained for emergencies, prepared for chaos. Yet what they find is not a struggle still unfolding. It's aftermath. It's quiet. Too quiet. Ashley Stewart is found unresponsive. Efforts are made. Protocols followed. Words spoken that officers never grow used to saying. By the time police arrived, the house was already quiet. And the question that will haunt everyone who watches this story has already taken root. How did it come to this? And could it have been stopped before the sirens, before the frozen screen, before the house fell silent? There was morning. Ashley Stewart woke before the sun, the way parents learn to do without alarms. In the soft winter light of Oswego, Illinois, the house came alive in small, familiar sounds. Footsteps on the stairs, a kettle warming, the low hum of a heater fighting the January cold. She was 41 years old, a mother of 6, and her life, hard won and carefully rebuilt, finally felt steady. Backpacks were lined up by the door, shoes mismatched but ready, a jacket forgotten, then remembered. The ordinary chaos of children moving through a home that felt safe enough to be careless in. Ashley moved through it all with practice calm, the kind that only comes after surviving something harder. Divorce had not broken her. It had reshaped her. She had chosen peace, not loudly, not dramatically, but deliberately. A quieter life, a routine that worked, a home that felt earned, not borrowed from the past. Outside, Oswego looked exactly as it always did. Snow pushed the edges of sidewalks. Cars parked neatly along calm streets. Neighbors waved, unaware that they were passing a woman whose life would soon be reduced to headlines and police reports. This was not a place where people expected danger. This was where people planned futures. Ashley's days followed patterns. School drop-offs, messages answered, dinners planned. Nothing reckless. Nothing secretive. Just a steady rhythm of someone doing her best to move forward. And for a long time, it worked. But some connections don't end when paperwork is signed. Public records would later confirm a fact that, at this moment in the story, still lived quietly in the background. The man accused of killing Ashley Stewart was her ex-husband. No details released. No motives explained. Just a legal relationship that belonged to the past, but refused to stay there. There were no alarms that morning. No signs on the street.
Ryan Dodd made his first appearance in a Kettle County courtroom this afternoon. Dodd is charged with the first-degree murder of his ex-wife, Ashley Stewart.
No reason to believe that routine had become predictable to the wrong person. Ashley locked her door the way she always did. She followed her schedule the way she always had. She trusted the stability she had built, brick by brick, through years of effort and resolve. What Ashley didn't know, what no one around her could see, was that someone from her past still knew her schedule, and that knowledge was moving closer. Even in the calm of morning, shadows can linger. Some don't fade when papers are signed, when names are changed, when life moves on. Ashley Stewart had done everything to create distance from her past. Yet some ties, sometimes invisible, sometimes deadly, refused to loosen. One of those ties had a name, Ryan Dodd, calmly stated, factually known, her ex-husband, a man with legal records now including aggravated stalking, home invasion, and other related charges. No motive released, no confrontations detailed, no warning signals shared publicly. Just a presence that refused to disappear from her life. Investigators would later piece together patterns. Visits to familiar streets, surveillance of routines, knowledge of when doors were unlocked. But at this moment, on this ordinary winter day, all of it was invisible, existing only in the spaces Ashley couldn't see. The problem wasn't drama, it wasn't confrontation. It was watching, silent, calculated, waiting. No knocks on the door, no phone calls, no threatening messages publicly recorded. Yet the evidence would reveal that someone was tracking her movements. Step by step, minute by minute, Ashley went about her day unaware. She laughed with her children. She prepared meals. She followed the rhythm of a life she had fought to secure. And all the while, the shadow of her past drifted closer, unseen. A chill ran down her spine that she could not explain, a fleeting unease she brushed off. And then the day would shift. The ordinary would fracture. The invisible would become immediate. On January 27th, 2026, Ashley unlocked her front door. Ashley Stewart returned home as she always did. The sun had dipped low, casting long shadows across the quiet street of Oswego, Illinois. Snow clung to the edges of the sidewalks, muffling footsteps, softening the world. Her hands clutched keys, small and familiar, the sound sharp as they jingled against the metal. She stepped onto the porch, brushed her hair from her face, and pushed the door open. Inside, the warmth of the house greeted her. The hum of the heater, the subtle creaks of floorboards, the faint scent of dinner being prepared later. Nothing seemed out of place. Nothing felt wrong. Time slowed. Each step toward the garage was deliberate. The key turned in the lock. The door opened with a muted thud. Every sound was louder than it should have been. The rustle of her coat, the click of her boots, the distant bark of a neighbor's dog. Ordinary noises became amplified in her mind, yet nothing screamed danger. She exhaled a soft breath, the kind that comes with relief after a long day. She thought of her children upstairs, her husband in the next room, her life as she had carefully rebuilt it. Then another set of footsteps. Not hers. Soft at first, almost hesitant, but deliberate, echoing in the hallway. The rhythm of someone moving with intent. Ashley froze, her senses flickering between disbelief and instinctive caution. Investigators would later confirm he followed her inside. The garage was meant to be a place of routine, a space of ordinary life. The smell of cold concrete and faint oil lingered in the air. The lights flickered faintly, a soft hum from the ceiling bulb. The only sound besides the whisper of the wind outside. It was ordinary, safe, ordinary enough that a mother of 6 could move through it without a second thought. Ashley Stewart had just stepped inside, closing the door behind her with a faint click that signaled the end of another day. Her boots scuffed against the concrete. Her coat brushed the walls. The world had contracted to the narrow space of the garage, a hallway of storage, a place where she always felt secure. But tonight, security would be a lie. Movement came from behind. Footsteps, fast, urgent, deliberate. Ashley spun, realizing too late that she was no longer alone. There was nowhere to run, no familiar route to safety. Her heart raced, hammering in her chest. Every sound, her breathing, the rustle of jacket, the slap of shoes on the floor was magnified, a brutal symphony of panic. She backed toward the far corner, a space cramped with boxes and bicycles, her fingers grazing cold metal, the scent of rubber and winter air filling her nostrils. Fear sharpened every sense. Time slowed again. Each second stretched unbearably long. The room, once familiar, now felt like a trap. Ashley moved. She ducked behind a stack of storage bins. She ran for the door, leading into the house. The shadow followed. Closer, faster, a scream toward the garage, raw, desperate, but ended abruptly, swallowed by the walls, swallowed by the cold winter air. The lights flickered, a stutter in the otherwise steady glow. She stumbled, heart hammering, thinking of the children upstairs, thinking of the life she had fought so hard to protect. And then a chilling realization. The world outside was watching. Miles away, someone was watching this live. The lens of security camera captured everything. The fear, the flight, the chase, the helplessness. The cold lens did not flinch. It recorded without mercy. Every movement, every sound, every heartbeat, frozen in real time. And as the chase pressed on, there was no way out. Only motion, only shadow, only the crushing awareness that safety had ended, that the ordinary had shattered, and that nothing in this house, no locks, no doors, no walls, could protect her now. The phone vibrated again. A notification he had learned to trust. But tonight, it betrayed him. He tapped the screen, expecting routine. A harmless alert. A blinking red dot to mark motion detected. Instead, the glow of the screen revealed a nightmare in real time. From miles away, he watched his wife, Ashley Stewart, moving through the garage with hurried steps, trying to escape a danger he could not see clearly, could not stop. The camera was his only window, yet it offered no protection. He leaned closer, eyes wide, heart hammering so violently he could feel in his throat. His thumb hovered over the screen, trembling. Should I call? Should I run? He did the only thing he could. He dialed 911. The dispatcher's calm voice filtered through the speaker. 911, what's your emergency? He tried to speak, tried to explain, but words faltered. Breath caught in panic. It's my wife. Someone's following her. Please. Every second stretched into eternity. The camera caught her movements. The shuffle of her feet, the desperate dash toward the door, her hand reaching for the handle. And then in an instant, a shadow blocked the frame. He couldn't move fast enough. He couldn't intervene. All he could do was watch, helpless, as the horror unfolded on a small screen, miles away from where it was happening. The cold glow of the phone illuminated his face, eyes wide, sweat slicking his brow. Each passing second was a reminder of human fragility, of the limits of technology, and of how cruelly life can turn ordinary moments into irretrievable tragedy. His hands shook. His breathing grew ragged. He screamed into the phone, to the dispatcher, to the universe, pleading for her to be safe, begging time to slow. And then a piercing silence. The dispatcher's voice cut through, clipped and professional. "Sir, what is your address? Is she conscious?" He stammered, couldn't answer. His eyes never left the screen. When police entered the home, Ashley was unresponsive. The screen went black. The house, once ordinary and warm, had become a tomb recorded in pixels and light, leaving him with nothing but the haunting image of a life he could not protect. 30 minutes. That's all it took for the ordinary evening to end, for lives to be shattered, and for the quiet streets of Oswego, Illinois to erupt with the cold authority of law enforcement. Ryan Dodd was arrested without a single dramatic flourish. No chase through the streets, no gunfire, no public spectacle. Just officers moving with purpose, following procedure, bringing an end to a chapter that had begun too violently. The facts were straightforward, clear, official, chilling in their simplicity. First-degree murder, home invasion, aggravated stalking. Each charge carried weight. Not just legal weight, but emotional weight, the kind that settles over a community and refuses to leave. Every paper filed, every procedural step reminded the world that consequences were coming. But consequences could never undo what had already been done. Neighbors whispered in disbelief. Friends tried to reconcile the man they knew, or thought they knew.
Stewart is described as a devoted wife and loving mother.
Not only did this person take away the mother of 6 beautiful children, he took away my friend. He took away others' friends. He took away somebody who was genuinely trying to help others and had a bright future ahead of her.
Robin Ross was heartbroken after getting the news that her good friend Ashley Stewart had been killed near her home in Oswego. Oswego police have charged Stewart's ex-husband, Ryan Dodd, with her murder. On Tuesday, police say they received a call from Stewart's current husband who told them that his wife might be in danger after noticing someone running after her on their home security camera. Police say he believed the man was Stewart's ex-husband. Police say Dodd followed her and then stabbed her to death with a knife.
With the actions reported, children slept unaware of the storm. The world outside the walls of their home forever altered. A life sentence loomed in the future, a reminder that the law would act, yet even the harshest punishment could not bring back what had been stolen, what had been destroyed. If convicted, he could face life in prison, and ending the law can enforce, but a life lost cannot be restored. But justice doesn't bring someone back. The streets returned to silence. The house, once alive with routine and laughter, was still. The cameras that captured the terror continued to record, a permanent reminder of the moments that no one could take back, a digital echo of a life abruptly ended. 6 children, 6 hearts suddenly orphaned in the middle of an ordinary suburban night. Their mother, Ashley Stewart, gone. The walls of their home, once filled with laughter, footsteps, and whispered secrets, now echoed only with emptiness. Neighbors gathered quietly, speaking in hushed tones. Shock rippled through the community, a cold, inescapable reminder that violence does not always announce itself. People who waved hello only days ago now found themselves grappling with something far darker. Fundraisers were launched. Letters of support poured in. Donations for the children began stacking up. But money could not replace the warmth of a mother's embrace, the guidance she had given, or the memories yet to be made. In the classrooms, playgrounds, and living rooms of Oswego, her absence was palpable. Every small detail, an abandoned backpack, a missing shoe, a quiet space at the dinner table, became a reminder of the fragility of life. The ripple effect of one violent act spread wider than anyone could anticipate. Friends questioned themselves. Community members questioned safety. The children questioned why the world could allow such cruelty. And the hardest question began to form in every mind. Why? And that's the question no one can answer yet. The ordinary rhythms of life had been ruptured. The neighborhood, the home, the lives of 6 children, all forever changed. And while justice had been set in motion, the void left by Ashley's death remained unfillable, a silent weight on everyone left behind. The courtroom was silent, but the questions were loud. Papers shuffled. Lawyers spoke in clipped tones. Judges nodded. But no one spoke the words everyone wanted to hear. Why? No official motive had been released. Nothing in the filings explained what drove Ryan Dodd to follow Ashley Stewart into her home, what made a routine evening turn into a nightmare. Every line of the public record was carefully neutral, factual, restrained. There were no confessions, no statements of anger, no messages of resentment made public, just silence. People speculated, of course. The media tried to fill the gaps. Friends whispered in disbelief. Social media debated endlessly. But speculation could not become fact. Courts do not report feelings, only actions. And what had happened could not be undone, no matter how loudly people demanded answers. This absence of explanation made the story worse. Fear grew in the unknown. It was not just that Ashley had been killed. It was that the reason for it was hidden, locked away behind legal boundaries and privacy rules. Ordinary routines now seemed dangerous. Trust became a fragile thing. People looked at neighbors differently, glanced at their own doors, questioned what was safe. Investigators and prosecutors worked behind the scenes, gathering evidence, building a case, tracing timelines, checking records. Every lead, every motion, every filing was a piece of a puzzle the public could only guess at. The weight of unanswered questions pressed down on the family, on the children, and on the community, leaving a lingering ache that money, justice, or punishment could never fully erase. The silence from courts, the lack of motive, the impossibility of understanding, all made the story harder to let go. People replayed events in their minds, imagining what might have been done differently. Who could have seen the warning signs? What tiny change could have prevented it? And still, the case moved forward, slowly, quietly, without offering closure to anyone outside the system. Every hearing, every document, every update reminded the world that justice was a process. But the human heart waits for something else, an answer that might never come. The investigation continued. Questions lingered. And while the courtroom worked in neutral tones and measured voices, the shadows of fear and confusion spread beyond it. Ordinary streets, ordinary homes, ordinary lives had already been changed forever. But one thing became certain. Ashley's story doesn't end in a courtroom. The air was still that morning, as though the world was holding its breath. The house on the quiet street of Oswego, Illinois, no longer held footsteps, laughter, or the small sounds of a mother moving through her life. But Ashley Stewart's life was more than what happened in that garage, more than the tragedy that ended it. She had been a mother, a sister, a friend. She had loved fiercely, laughed easily, and carried the weight of family with strength that went unnoticed by most.
Stewart is described as a devoted wife and loving mother.
Not only did this person take away the mother of 6 beautiful children, he took away my friend. He took away others' friends. He took away somebody who was genuinely trying to help others and had a bright future ahead of her. Ashley was a genuine, beautiful life spirit. She would drop anything she needed to do to help out anybody, no matter what. She really, really loved her family. She loved her kids. Nobody could ever mistake how much love she put into her family.
Her life had been ordinary in the most extraordinary way, rising every day, surviving hardship, choosing hope after heartbreak. That was the part of her that should not be lost, that should not be reduced to a name in a news headline. The final twist in the story is subtle but piercing. The real horror was never the garage, never the attack captured on security cameras, never the shock of sirens cutting through a quiet night. The horror was how close it had come to normal life, how easily danger can slip into routine, how the ordinary can become extraordinary in the most devastating ways. And yet, from tragedy comes lessons. Kindness matters. Awareness matters. Paying attention, Believing survivors, taking warning signs seriously, these small acts ripple outward and they can save lives. Communities rebuild, children grow, and memory transforms grief into vigilance. The air was still that morning, as though the world was holding its breath. The house on the quiet street of Oswego, Illinois, no longer held footsteps, laughter, or the small sounds of a mother moving through her life. But Ashley Stewart's life was more than what happened in that garage, more than the tragedy that ended it. She had been a mother, a sister, a friend. She had loved fiercely, laughed easily, and carried the weight of a family with strength that went unnoticed by most. Her life had been ordinary in the most extraordinary way, rising every day, surviving hardship, choosing hope after heartbreak. That was the part of her that should not be lost, that should not be reduced to a name in a news headline. Want to stay on the edge of your seat? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. More shocking true crime stories are coming, and you don't want to miss a second.